We are constantly faced with ignorance and injustice in our society and in the media. We live in a period of the information period. So there's a lot of, we are engaging with a lot of media on a daily basis. And not all the media that we engage with is good media. So how do we relate to that? The Quran advises us to do something about the ignorance, to avoid it. Stand for what is right. Take action against it. And when and where you are not able to, then at least forgive it. Change the things that you cannot accept and forgive the things that you cannot change. Neutral words, not loaded words, not ambiguous words, but neutral words, and words of forgiveness, words that are soft, saying that you're sorry when you are sorry, forgiving people, overlooking their faults, their mistakes, their weaknesses. So neutral words and forgiveness, Allah says, are better than sincerity following by hurt. So in other cases, Allah says that sometimes you find those cases where you forgive somebody, but you say, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. That's not complete forgiveness. I'm not saying that you're going to forget or wipe out the memory of what happened out of your system, but forgiveness needs to happen completely and wholeheartedly, with sincerity. Because sometimes you say, yeah, I forgive you, but then you still hold those grudges. And you sometimes hurt people indirectly by that. And Allah says this kind of forgiveness we don't need. Allah says, Wallahu Ghaniyyun Halim. Allah says that I am affluent, so I don't need those kind of forgiveness. And I am the most forgiving. So take my example, because Allah often, I think when I went through the Quran and looking for words for ayats on forgiveness, I think it's probably one of the most oft repeated verse in the Quran. It's about how forgiving Allah is towards mankind. Allah says, I'm oft forgiving, most merciful. I forgive again and again, Allah says. Allah says, I forgive sins as big as mountains. So Allah is the most forgiving. So Sunnat Allah, the pattern of Allah, or the example of Allah is to be forgiving. So Allah wants us also to have that forgiving nature. There's a beautiful saying of Mahatma Gandhi. He says, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. It takes a lot to forgive somebody. It takes a lot to let go of the anger. Somebody hurts you, then you want to hold on to that grudge. You want to hold on to that anger that you have for that person. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of energy from somebody to be able to forget. But Mahatma Gandhi says that is where strength lies. And the Quran says a similar thing. Quran says, وَلِمَنْ صَبْرَ وَغَفَرَ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. And indeed, if you show patience and you forgive, that would truly be an exercise of courageous will and resolution in the conduct of affairs. So basically Allah says that's really what strength. The strength doesn't lie in the physical strength that you have, or the ability to manipulate somebody with words, or to cleverly get your way out of something. Strength lies in saying, I admit my mistake, forgive me, or you have hurt me, I'm taking the lesson out of this experience, but I forgive you. That's where the strength lies.